Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories and breaking news, breaking as of this recording, but I didn't want to release this at midnight, but it is significant and important news. And I was surprised that when this did break later in the evening, I think it was around 6 in the evening or so, the mainstream media was completely unprepared to cover any of this. So you may not have heard about it in the evening last night, or yesterday as of this recording. So it's fascinating to me that this didn't make it across all the headlines. But of course, the Establishment Uni-party has been orchestrating and coordinating these trials. So I'm not surprised that they weren't entirely prepared for this. But from Axios, a very left-leaning organization, although we see here from Ground News, 28% left, 45% center, and 27% right. Trump's federal classified docs trial date postponed indefinitely. And, of course, that's going to irritate and annoy many of the pundits, many of the Trump detractors, the Establishment Uni-party, as well as the Democrats, because this was a huge leveraging point for them in this classified doc case. As a matter of fact, one could almost argue that this would have been the most pivotal of them all. Now, granted, most of these cases are relatively frivolous. As we see in New York with the fraud case, there wasn't even a victim. And we're seeing kind of the same thing happen in the case here with his business documents and Stormy Daniels and the alleged usage and payoffs and money for campaign finance, this, that, and the other. It's absolutely absurd. It's all over the place and just ridiculous. Judge Aileen Cannon on Tuesday indefinitely postponed former President Trump's classified documents trial date in Florida, citing a number of outstanding pre-trial motions. It should have never happened. None of these trials should have ever happened because the 𝐀𝐦𝐚𝐬𝐴 case, over 20 years old. The situation now with the business documents and Stormy Daniels, that's over 10 years ago. And here we are in these classified documents, as we mentioned here. A president can classify or can declassify documents in his office by himself. Now, you know who can't declassify documents? A vice president. And we had a vice president that had classified documents. Some even going back to when he was a senator. Special counsel, no charges for Biden in classified documents probe. Isn't that amazing? That's it. The WashPo, the Washington Post, can just make this declarative statement, and as we've seen, there was a bit of an investigation. There was a bit of a tussle back and forth because they needed to see how much they needed to press on Donald Trump and how much they could get away with, while at the same time knowing and realizing that Joe Biden and even Mike Pence and arguably Obama were all in the same situation. So you see, they had to kind of pick and choose how they wanted to pursue this. And then here with Joe Biden, Report cites weak evidence of intent by Biden. The intent is derivative. He had the documents. What he was going to do with them is really irrelevant. He had them. That should have been the key marker, just like Donald Trump. Now, why would it matter what the intent is with Donald Trump if he's got the documents too, or Obama, or Mike Pence? It's absurd how they use language this way and framing the way they do. And I think it's funny because the special counsel said an elderly man with a poor memory was the reason why they couldn't pursue him. And it was laughable because of the double standards, laughable because of the hypocrisy. And then the media came out in defense of Joe Biden, giving him a platform, giving him a time slot to be able to come out and then defend himself. And in a complete conundrum, the out for Biden was that he had a poor memory. That was the out. And then he had to defend himself by saying that he didn't have a poor memory, which would then suggest that he would then have to be tried for having these documents, regardless of the intent. It's absolutely mind-numbingly ridiculous. Why it matters. Thank you, Axios, for letting us know. The ruling makes it unlikely that the classified document trial will end before the 2024 presidential election, where Trump is the presumptive GOP presidential nominee. As we have talked about here, Joe Biden is incredibly seething over the fact that many of these dignitaries and foreign leaders want to meet Trump in Mar-a-Lago, and it could be argued it's because they're hedging their bets. Cannon's Tuesday ruling is a win for Trump, who has successfully pushed for delays in multiple criminal trials ahead of November's election. That's because the Establishment Uni-party, the left, and the Democrats have been pushing the trials on him. Trump pleaded not guilty last June to the historic 37-count indictment related to his handling of classified documents after he left the White House. Doesn't matter. He's the president. He can declassify. And not only that, these people have a field day with all these indictments and how many he has. 37, 40, 80, 81, 90. It's like they just have this smorgasbord of numbers that they just throw out there. Driving the news, Cannon wrote in the Tuesday filing that the trial start date, originally scheduled for May 20th, is delayed so she can resolve pretrial motions in the case, which, of course, what his attorneys are doing is filing motions because they're like, first of all, why is the president even in this situation? Because he was instructed on the documents that he had and how to secure them and keep them safe, which they were in a room with a lock. Now, Donald Trump has hundreds, if not thousands, of people that work for him, so he does not always know what's going on with certain individuals and what information and what direction they're taking from different agencies, different people, different organizations. All these sorts of things are going on. Cannon said that the finalization of the trial date at this juncture would be imprudent and inconsistent with the court's duty to fully and fairly consider the various pending pretrial motions before the court. Well, it shouldn't even happen. That statement there kind of reminded me of George Bush Sr. Wouldn't be prudent, not at this juncture. Just reminded me of George Sr. Zoom in. Before Cannon's Tuesday ruling, the trial start date was expected to be pushed back due to a myriad of unresolved matters. And if you like the word myriad, make sure you hit that like button. But suffice it to say here, ladies and gentlemen, that this trial should have never happened. This classified documents trial is a show trial, just like we're seeing in New York right now. Jack Smith just rolled the dice, and just like with the DA in New York, whether it's Letitia James or Bragg, whomever, the judges, Merchant, and Engeron, it's just an absolute bizarre situation. If you guys haven't already, I did a video earlier today, as of this recording, of the financial advisor to Joe Biden, who couldn't answer a simple question on how our economy works, how the government prints money, and how they lend money. It's just mind-boggling to me that these people are in positions of power, in positions of authority, and they can't even, this guy couldn't even articulate. This is the guy who's advising Joe Biden, and this was from a documentary called, I don't remember the name of the documentary right off the top of my head. I think something like about Finding the Money. I think it's called Finding the Money. I've not seen the documentary. It's a clip from the documentary. But what an embarrassment. The guy is just like, oh, wait a minute. Is that what we do with the money? I mean, wait a minute. What do we do with it? It's like, wow, dude, you're the guy. You're the guy. You're in this documentary to explain the finances of our country and how it works. And you're like, wait, is that what we do? Wait, do we still? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like they found some dude off the street and they said, okay, we need you to fill in for this one person here, and we're going to ask you questions, and you just answer the questions. It's, wow. Anyway, suffices to say that this news is going to ripple through the mainstream and the Democrats and the establishment probably in the morning of Wednesday. But nonetheless, guys, I want to thank all of you across social media. That's BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for the likes, the shares, and the comments. And, of course, below this video, you can find the various social media links as well as my affiliate links as well. Those checking out those links does help out the channel. So if you guys do plan on ordering from Amazon or have Amazon Prime, by all means, check that out. And, of course, if you're interested in a VPN, I like TrustZone. It's down there below as well. Guys, I want to thank all of you for your continued support. Appearing there on the screen, that'd be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.